The following program is intended for a mature listening audience. Graphic and explicit language may be heard at times. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily express those of this station or sponsors. Listeners are advised that neither this station nor its owners and agents shall be held liable for the content of this program, rebroadcast, redistributed or reused, without express written permission by host or producer is not allowed.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hollywood Red Carpet Radio Show. I'm Debbie Perkins. I'm your host, and I have a great guest today. Aaron. Sorry, I lost your last name for a second. It's terrible.
Carlson.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I practiced that. Even though it's an easy name to remember, I'm a little nervous right now. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway,
Debbie, why are you nervous?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm losing my mind, maybe. But Aaron is a director, a producer, an actor. You have more than one. You wear more than one hat in the entertainment industry. So, welcome to the show, and tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me, Debbie.
My God, my pleasure.
Ooh, I'm making you nervous.
You did, so stop. Knock it off.
You're funny. Anyway, my name is Aaron Carlson. I'm, like Debbie said, a writer, director, filmmaker in general. Storyteller is I usually tell myself that's what I like to do. I have many hats, do a lot of things in the filmmaking business, and I just like to entertain everybody as best I can. I like to tell stories. We've done many different storytelling ventures and different platforms, from writing novels to audio series that we've done, podcasting we've done, and our indie filmmaking. And we've got films in distribution right now that you can find on Amazon Prime, Tubi TV. And we have a big series that we've been doing on YouTube for the last few years that's been really a lot of fun for supporting a lot of the talent that's in this indie level. And we're having a blast doing this stuff, making movies.
Amazing. I'm really happy for you. That's so cool. And you're working with some really crazy genre. So, now, where did you grow up? And when you were young, did you see yourself doing this? Or was this something that you evolved into?
Okay, I'm from Tacoma, Washington. That's up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's near Seattle, about 30 minutes outside of Seattle. Kind of a, middle income kind of town. We've, it's called Grit City. And because we're gritty up here, it's kind of fun. But as a kid, I grew up in this area, and I've always been attracted to films. My dad was a huge film buff. He got me into cinema when I was a little guy. I was 5 years old when I saw King Kong. With Jeff Bridges and not Jennifer Jason Leigh. What's her mom's name? You know what I'm talking about. Angela. No, what's her name? Lang.
Oh,
Jessica Lang. Yeah. He took me to everything, even if it was an R-rated movie. I was there. I saw Star Wars when it first came out. I was 5. I saw Sudden Impact with Clint Eastwood and Al Pacino Scarface in 1980 at 7 years old.
Wow.
I literally grew up with movies with my dad. He got me really into them, and we just had a great time together, sharing that time. And talking about movies. So as years went on, just to keep a long story as short as possible, I was really into storytelling, and I decided to try writing novels. I was a pretty good writer in high school and in college, so I just decided to try to tell some stories on paper, and I wrote a couple novels. They didn't go anywhere. I tried to get an agent and a publisher, but that didn't work out. But then I found out that, wow, you can make movies now. I think it was in the late 90s. Yeah, late 90s or so. I had a new laptop, and there was this thing, Windows Movie Maker was on it. And I'm like, what? You can make movies on a laptop computer now? This is crazy. So I went and bought this little DV camera tape thing. I don't know how much it was back then, but I just started making movies with my family and my kids, and a buddy of mine, his name was Chuck, and we just started making these little movies, and lo and behold, 20 some odd years later, we're actually in the industry now. So self-taught.
Now you're using cameras that are this big.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I think is great about movie making, and even when people start out, it's not a cakewalk. You can vouch for that. It's really hard. Not just hard to get into the business, but it's hard to get. A lot of people think it's just they can just do it.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things. You have to actually educate yourself. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Even like film courses and stuff. Not so much acting. I think you can learn a lot from acting, from behind the scenes type of stuff too. But I think that when it comes to directing, producing, managing, you got to manage everybody. It's a lot of work, and it takes a special kind of person to do that.
I agree with you 100%. And I think there's so many different ways to get into filmmaking. And if you're serious about it and you're passionate about it, there's a way. Let's say you're a filmmaker or want to be a filmmaker, but you don't have the money to go to film school. That's okay. It's completely okay. How many filmmakers do you know that are out there that have started making movies just because they watched enough movies? If you become a connoisseur of film and you watch enough movies, you will automatically start seeing how to do it. Now it's just, how do you I see what they're doing. So now how do I apply those skills? How do I learn those skills? There's a lot of ways to do it. My best advice to anybody is to actually just make some stuff. Just make something. If you've got an iPhone, if you've got a smartphone, if you've got a little camera, go make some stuff. Grab a editing device. See if you can put together a little 1-minute short film or a 2-minute short film. Just try, practice, hands-on. Not everybody that's been successful in Hollywood went to film school. Quentin Tarantino did not go to film school. He just watched a shit ton of movies. He really did. And that's how he became the filmmaker he was. So it just depends on the individual. What way is your best way of learning?
He's incredible too. Speaking of him,
he is. He's
oh my god!
I know.
I think I didn't even know about him till Dusk Till Dawn. And when I saw that movie with him in it,
and he
did his own cameo. Oh, he's good at acting too.
Oh yeah,
but he's got a scary look, so he fit in. But like some of those scenes, it's just mind blowing because the director, even though you have all the supplies on hand and you have the actors doing what they're supposed to do, you tweak their work so that it looks real, so that everything is executed almost perfectly, as much as you can. But I like that you gave advice to just make a small one. Just make a small film, documentary, see what you can do with your time, and if you still like it after that,
then you keep going. You keep going. It's all about the craft, right? And where you fit in that craft. When I started, I had no idea. As many movies I've seen, I never really paid attention to the credit roll, and all the people that it takes to
get through it.
I thought if I wanted to make a movie, I had to do it all, right? So that meant, okay, I need some actors. If I have actors and I have a camera and I have a microphone, I can make a movie. That's literally where it was. So we would film some stuff, and then I would have to go and go, okay, I got all this footage now. What do I do? And then I had to learn how to edit the thing, add sound effects to it, make sure the dialogue was sounding okay, color grade the film. How do I render a movie out? How do I get it on a DVD? How do I get it to all these steps that you got to learn in the process? But here's the thing. All that information is out there for you now. And anybody can make a movie if they really want to. It comes down to how passionate you are about filmmaking, how much do you love it, how bad do you want to tell stories, and are you willing to work for it?
Yeah,
that's it.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I think it's really incredible. You have such knowledge on this. You educate yourself. Did you actually took some courses to help you kind of push through the directions that you're going in? Because I'm sure that there's more than one type of course for filmmakers.
I'm pretty unique in that regard. No, I did not go to film school, and no, I did not take any courses in filmmaking. I learned how to do it because I love movies, but I also applied skill sets I've learned from working real jobs. If you want to look at the business side of filmmaking, you still have a product, right? And you have to sell your product to a consumer, like an audience member is a consumer, right? They want to consume good content. My job is to sell our content. Like, this is the product I'm putting out there for you guys to enjoy. So no different than a Snickers bar, right? So how do I get them excited about trying out ours when there's so many different films out there that they can choose from? So that's basic sales. And I've been a car salesman. I've been a real estate agent. I've sold houses all across the board for 12 years of my life until I got out of it. And I just, after a while, you start really just piecing together your skill sets. And then if you apply them to filmmaking, you'll be surprised how it kind of all is the same.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I really do. And that's another thing that people need to know, that you got to sell that product. Your product is your work. Your work is your product. If you can't sell your product, you're going to struggle. Unless you can find producers that are willing to take over and take that burden off you. But everything needs financing, period. Yeah. Nowadays, everything needs financing because it costs money. The fake blood costs money, people.
It does. It does. All of it costs money.
And you want to pay for your high-end actors.
Yeah.
You can get volunteers from the college. So I'm not saying that that's not an impossibility, because it truly is. Some of the college kids will work just for the credit because they want that, great. Yeah.
It's good for their reels. It's good for them to get out there and start working. It's networking. It's that's what it's all about. Like, building teams of like-minded people, if that makes sense. And, we've been lucky in that regard to be able to have some of the talent that we have in our area, be a part of what we call our family, our film family, where, if I got a part for somebody, I know who I could ask who would do it. And they won't even bring up budget. It's about the story.
Right.
What are we making? Yeah. And that's kind of cool. So, it comes down to sometimes where, hey, we don't have a budget for this movie, but we really want to make it. Here's the movie. Do you want to do it? And you know what? More times than not, they were like, hell yeah, we're going to do it. No matter what, let's just make it. So we get lucky in that way a lot. And I don't want anybody to put themselves down because, or sell themselves short, I should say. If they're a filmmaker and they don't have a budget and don't have money, don't be afraid to still talk to people, other actors, people in the community that you're in. There's people out there that if it's a good project and you're a good person and you're excited about your story, if you can get them as excited as you are, you'd be surprised for what they'd work for. Hey, I'll be there just for the gas money, Aaron. Can you come and you can pay my gas money? I'll be there. Cool. There's always a way. Never think there's not a way.
No, I think that's great, and especially it will help new actors who want to get the experience. Even though it's not a paid gig, it's still an opportunity to get in your feet wet.
Yes.
And you don't know what you like until you do it anyway.
That's correct. That is exactly right.
So I want to ask you, your first movie that you actually did and completed, talk about that with us for a minute.
Okay. So I had been making movies, learning how to make movies for about 18 years before we released our first public film. Now, I made a lot of them before that. They're all crap, but they're all fun, but we all made them for a reason, right? There were certain reasons why we made them. And, every one you make, you kind of get better and better and better at it. In 2017, we released a movie called The Outrider. And it's a black and white sci-fi noir film. And I was so excited about this story that I wrote. I wrote this thing. I was like, this is the movie. This is the one. Like, our first movie is going to blow up. You guys watch. Well, it didn't blow up. However, we finished it. And we did get distribution on it. It is on Amazon Prime. It's on Tubi TV and a few other streaming platforms. And you know what? The first 6 months, we were actually in the popular category on Amazon Prime. Our reviews were really crappy. Everybody hated it that watched it. But you know what? It gave us our first sense of, okay, this is what it's like. We got a movie done. We got it out there to the public. We got a response. There was a lot of people who liked it. There was a lot of people who disliked it. But you know what? We actually made money on a movie we made. It wasn't a lot, but it covered the cost of the film. And to this day, we're still making a little residual income off of that little $3,000 movie.
That's awesome.
That we made, right? That got us out there and got us started, and we learned a lot about how the whole process kind of works. We had one camera. It was a $300 DSLR. We had a shotgun mic that we hooked to our camera. We didn't even have a field recording device. The audio is crap in the movie. We did it black and white because I wasn't sure how to color grade at that point a film. And we had our friends that we knew. They weren't even really trained actors. And we just worked with them to make this movie. But you know what? There's some people that actually love it and dig it, and there's a lot of people that don't. But however, for us, it was the first step into creating, an opportunity for our production company to make films for a living. And we didn't lose anything. We gained off of that experience. So that was the first film we made. And I still watch it, and I'm still very proud of it. Even though I watch it and cringe sometimes, I'm still like, but I love this movie. It got us going. It got us going.
That's so cool. Now, what's the name of that movie?
It's called The Outrider. So
anybody wants to watch that, he doesn't mind you critiquing it. He doesn't mind if you love it or hate it. Leave an opinion, though, because that counts.
It does count. It really does.
Yeah, and it helps you to understand what you do next. That's different.
That's right. That's right.
And so now on to the next film that you did.
Okay.
We
hopped into documentaries that we made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we went full steam ahead on a few documentaries. The first one that we released was called The Giant Pacific Octopus, and that's a story that is based up here in the Pacific Northwest about the giant octopus that supposedly is in the Puget Sound waters up here that actually brought down the Narrows Bridge. We have this bridge between Gig Harbor and Tacoma. And it's kind of like, it's like a big bridge. Like, it's not as big as like the San Francisco Bridge, but it's big.
Right.
And back in the 1940s.
Is it made out of steel?
Yes, steel bridge.
Okay.
This bridge, they called it galloping girding. It actually crumbled back in, I think it was the 40s or 50s. It fell. And there was a myth that this giant octopus took it down. Okay. So this area has been shrouded with artwork, T-shirts, sweatshirts, murals. People love the octopus up here in the Tacoma, Seattle area. So we followed this mythical story of this animal, and we talk about the octopus quite a bit and its nature, its habitats, keeping the species alive. And it's a very well received documentary we created for people who are really into protecting the environment and animals. So we made that movie on a minimal budget, and we've got some of the best talented divers in this thing that got us underwater footage. Wow. We went and talked to some people that have been scientists and marine oceanographers. Who else did we got? Some other guys that were really on historic implements of what the octopus means. Anyway, long story short, this film, took off. When we released this movie, and we got distribution on that too, that has been our biggest success as a film to this day. We released that in, I think, 2020, and that movie absolutely exploded. We were amazed by the amount of people that watched this documentary. So that's got us really excited, because then we were like, maybe. Yeah, we make more documentaries, so we made another one. So we've got two, and the other one's called A Will and a Way. It's about a ranch up here in the state of Washington. The ranch owner's name is Kathy McKay. She has this family legacy she's been trying to uphold from her father, who built this ranch. It's a dude ranch, so people can come from all over the world and visit this place, and they can be hands-on on the ranch, kind of like you do with your chickens and all that kind of stuff. And it's her life story about the loss that she's faced, the challenges she's faced, And this biography is a wonderful story about hope and heart and resilience. And we really wanted to capture that family's life and the things they've dealt with and how they've dealt with it. And again, this movie was a big hit, and it's our best cinematic film that we've made. It's absolutely gorgeous. We actually had a budget for that movie, and it turned out very well. So we're proud of that one, too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The documentaries, it just sounds like you did a lot of scientific study in order to get the correct people for each one of those. That in itself is a lot of work. I don't know if you had to do that personally yourself or you had a team, but there's a lot behind what you did, even before you got to, say, roll them.
Yeah, you're right. And I was lucky there because Samantha, my better half, she really is a documentarian. She loves watching documentaries. So after I finished The Outrider, my narrative film, she was like, hey, Aaron, would you want to help me make a documentary? I'm like, of course, if you want to make a movie, let's go make a movie. She did all the research on that. She gathered all the people. All the interviews were set up by her. This was her baby. So, I followed my wife on this journey, and we made this film, and she just killed it. She absolutely killed it. All I had to do was film it and then edit the thing and put it together. So
she did all the hard studying and
the
hard work behind it.
Yes,
and that was teamwork.
Yes, it was.
And you said it was successful, so it really hit the hearts of people. And I'm wondering, people, you're getting noticed for your work. And that's what it sounds like. You're getting a fan base for the work that you're doing. And I think that people that are where you're at understand the depths that you have to go to in order to accomplish even one movie, let alone a few, to get in a role. Now, did you stay with documentaries? Because sounds like you're really good at that.
Well, that is something that we feel like we can do anytime. Yeah. If the right story hits us, we can make one. Now, we have 2 right now that are in pre-production that we have not jumped on board completely yet. And the biggest thing that we've been doing the last 3 years was our YouTube series. And it was important to me as a filmmaker watching the industry. And, I think if you're an indie filmmaker, if you're thinking about getting into indie filmmaking, you have to understand how this model changes quite a bit, where nothing really stays the same. Like 1 minute, everybody thinks that film festivals are the way to go. And then that's not going to work. And then I just got to get my movie on Amazon Prime. If I get it on that, I'm going to do great because they pay a lot. And then all of a sudden they don't pay indie filmmakers very well anymore.
Right.
It's just like this all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to find every avenue that we could possibly do, like we talked about. The more things pre-show we talked about it. The more platforms you have available for yourself as an indie artist, the better, because everybody has the one that they want to go to, right? So in my brain, I'm like, well, what's the one platform that everybody knows and everybody goes to worldwide without needing distribution? That's YouTube. So, and there's a way to make money off of YouTube with your films. You make a film, if your channel's monetized, you can go ahead and put it up there. And if people watch it, if you get people to your channel, you will make money on your movie on your own through YouTube. So, it was my goal about 3 years ago to have a monetized YouTube channel that we would be able to utilize for our films, as well as still put them up on other platforms like Amazon Prime and Tubi TV. But how do you get a channel monetized?
That's true.
So you got to get subscribers. You need at least 1,000 on that platform.
Yeah.
How do you get 1,000 people to subscribe to your channel? Well, you got to put in the work. So I decided to focus on a horror series to see if we could draw an audience to our channel by using these iconic characters that we all know. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, these monsters that everybody knows, and would that draw a crowd of people? And sure as hell it did. It did. We went from 150 subscribers, and I think as of today, we're at 11,600 subscribers to our channel. And that's 2.5 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But awesome, too. Oh, my God.
It worked.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So now I can take our documentaries and other older films that we made, put them on our YouTube channel, and we're making more money now off of those films. So
I see.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's kind of what we try to do. How do you market yourself in every way you can and put out the best quality content you can make where people could go, wow, they didn't have a lot of money, but that actually was a good movie. That's kind of what we want to do. And we pride ourselves on that because I think it's important to put out a piece of the art that you're proud of. And then that way, if you do get good remarks, you're like, yeah. And if you do get bad remarks, you're like, screw you. I don't care because I didn't make it for you anyway. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I've even watched movies that, even though the acting wasn't great, the story was awesome.
The story was good, right?
And I would still watch it because of the story.
Yeah, yeah. You can forgive some stuff as a viewer, especially when you understand what you're watching and what level it's on. Yeah, this isn't studio stuff we're making. We don't got millions of dollars. However, how can you make the best movie?
Yeah. You're hitting all the marks moving up.
Yes.
You know? And now where you're from, is there a lot of people doing what you do, or you kind of like not as many? You're just above California, so I always wonder, like, what states around California, because everybody always dreams of Hollywood, but not everybody gets there. Mm-hmm. But you can do the quality of Hollywood from wherever you are. You
can. You really can. It's doable. And I know a lot of filmmakers across the country that do it that aren't in Hollywood that make great movies. That you'd be surprised when you see them where you're like, wow, that's not a real Hollywood movie. That was an indie movie? That was great. It happens all the time. Where I'm from up here in the Pacific Northwest, I think we're a hidden gem. There's a lot of talented people up here across the board, from cast to crew members. If you need something, you'd find the person up here where you're like, wow, I can't believe that they're not, in Hollywood doing stuff as good as they are. And then there's a lot of people who are learning that are good. And there's a lot of people in the middle who are, even use it just as a hobby, but are fantastic. If they took it serious and wanted to take that step, they probably could make it in whatever way they wanted to. So we're kind of lucky up here because we're overlooked in the Pacific Northwest. Everybody goes to Canada to make movies or California to make movies. We're right in the middle of them, right?
Yeah.
We've got them on both sides here of us, and we can go left or south or north and be good.
And I recently heard that last few years that people were making a lot more movies in Canada. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, that's weird. But then again, we get a lot of actors from Canada to come down here and act in some of these films. So I guess it's a win-win. I mean, we collaborate, and that makes for great work.
It does.
So now you're working on a film you're pretty excited about.
Yes.
Mentioning all our happy favorite monsters in the world.
Yeah.
I know. You're look at you smile. You can tell
it's so fun.
You're in an amazing process of that.
Yes, we are. Right now, we are in pre-production on our final Horrorverse film called Jason Voorhees Nightmares. And it will conclude the fan films that we've been creating for the YouTube audience that we've managed to, get over the last couple of years, which is, and this series has gotten over 1 million views, which has been crazy for us. It's so good. And, but the coolest thing is, like, people have watched it all. Like, the rating, it's like 90-some% positive rating on this thing. And the audience retention is what I always look at. I'm like, did 1 million people just click on it and then after 5 minutes they cut it off? No, they didn't. There's like 70% of them that watched the whole thing. And that's ridiculous to me. That's like, wow, I'm like, holy shit, 7 out of 10 people watched the whole thing? That's crazy. They have. And I'm like, wow. And these are no budget, low budget microfilms. But everybody likes the story. Like you said, people like the story. If it's done well.
What I want to know is, like, and I watched some of those clips. Some of your reels. Really good. Really good.
Thank you.
I like the monster.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. Yeah,
I like that you didn't carbon copy. You kind of made him your own.
Yes.
And then you changed the story to the point where it went from mom to dad, which I really am glad that there's another side of him.
Yes. Thank you for saying.
That's why he's kind of mental, like both parents are like.
Right. Yeah, and that was the journey we wanted to take. We wanted to stay true to those original, the source material, but tweak it just enough to give everybody a fresh take on, a different Jason Voorhees or a different Michael Myers or even a different Freddy Krueger when it's coming. And that's kind of been our goal. And then also just throw in all the fun little moments from all the movies that we grew up with, from the 80s and 90s, from, my character Bullseye is pretty much Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. I'm wearing a patch. I've got long dreads.
Oh, wow.
We've got characters in there that will remind you of, Predator from Arnold Schwarzenegger to, just all that stuff from back in that era. Cool. Yeah, just nostalgia, just fun.
Well, that got us hooked onto horror.
Yeah.
It really did. I think all those monsters you talk about, everybody knows about them.
Yes.
They could be your next door neighbor, though.
Yes, they could be. They really could be.
Camp Crystal Lake, which is we have a Camp Crystal Lake where I live, so I don't dare to go there.
No, I wouldn't go there either.
No, I'm just saying, some bobbing heads in the water might turn me off. I wouldn't even dare to get in a boat because of that last scene in the movie.
Yeah, coming out of the water, pulling you under.
Oh yeah.
There goes Debbie.
that gave me not nightmares, but it made me really afraid. Mm-hmm. Then I was addicted to watch another movie. I wanted to watch number 2. And then they screwed it up with Halloween because when they made the first movie with Jason, Michael Myers, sorry, and then they came out with another Halloween, which was Killer Pumpkins.
Oh yeah.
I was devastated because I was thinking there was going to be another Michael Myers and it was going to go off over here like they did with the third one.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, and I went to the movies and watched that, and I was so bummed out when I left. I was like, that was nothing the way I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, a lot of people.
But I'm glad you're staying by. You're keeping it real.
Yeah. Yeah, we wanted to pay tribute to those films and those filmmakers and just say a thank you to all of them because it's those films that have created, today's filmmakers. The people who love these movies so much are because of those guys making those movies and gals. And it was important for us to not squash that and make fun of it, but to have fun with it instead, if that makes sense, and really just pay tribute to that stuff because to me, it's magic. I mean, those are the movies I watched from my dad growing up. We love that stuff. I've got a really fond feeling of those films. They're not even that great if you go back and watch them today. You're like, why did I like this so much? This is just awful. The acting's terrible. But you know what? They're right here. They stay with you. They're great.
You're running a fundraising campaign. Am I correct?
Yes. For Jason Voorhees Nightmares, we are right now.
Now, where can people go to help you with that?
If you are able to.
I'm sorry. And you had perks as well.
Yes, we do.
And I love that you're doing that because I think it gives the public not only an opportunity to be part of production and donate money for the project, but also become somebody in the film.
Correct.
Or whether it's the perks.
Yeah. Basically, what we're doing is, we wanted to make this film a big part of the community. And when I say community, I mean film community. Across the board, anybody in indie filmmaking or anybody who's ever wanted to be in an indie film should have an opportunity to be a part of something fun. And since this film is the biggest one we're doing and the last, we wanted to reach out to an audience to not only give them a chance to help us make the movie financially, but also, get something for your money where maybe you can just get your name in the credits, or maybe you can act in the movie with us, or, maybe you just want to buy that record soundtrack in a vinyl format. So you have all the music on an LP, that'd be kind of cool. Or, do you want to get the Blu-ray? I mean, there's so many things that we're offering for your contributions. And that actually, you can be very proud to know that money will be used to help fund the film, pay the actors, feed the actors, pay for locations, help us on set, all kinds of different things that we need to do in order to make the movie the best it can be.
And all the technology behind what you're doing, the scoring.
Oh, yeah.
like you said, the editing. A lot of people don't understand. There's a lot to a film.
A lot of time. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of talent that's involved in it. And people's time is valuable. And this is our way of giving back to them to help them perform in an environment that gives them that freedom, and they can breathe and just relax and know that, you know, they're working. They're working. This is their job. This is what they do. So, yeah.
So much fun. What's your favorite scene? What's one of your favorite scenes without giving a lot away?
In the upcoming movie that we're going to make?
Yeah, sure.
Or in any of them?
Whatever. What's your favorite scene?
Our last film we did, we had a moment with two actors of high caliber that I got to shoot and film. One of them, his name is Ira Katz. He plays the sheriff in our story. He's a local actor here, but he's brilliant. He's my Al Pacino. Okay, he reminds me of Al Pacino. He's from the East Coast. I think he's from Jersey. And he's just got this Al Pacino vibe.
He's the accent.
He's great. I love him to death. He's mine. I don't want anybody to take it. Yeah, and then we got the luxury to have a mainstream actor, someone who's been in mainstream movies like The Mule with Clint Eastwood and Death Race back in the day. Mr. Robert Lasardo joined us.
We love Robert. Robert's
yes. Yep. Robert Lasardo.
Oh my gosh.
He's fantastic.
He's A rated as far as I'm concerned. He's extremely professional. Yeah,
he is, and he's a great person. I have a great time working with him and talking with him, and we're actually pretty tight friends now because of our working relationship that we built. Anyway, yeah, it's all about networking. I got to film these two doing a one-on-one in a sequence in one of the films we made in the Horrorverse, and I couldn't have had a better time watching these two. These guys are titans. Okay, both of those actors can act their asses off, and they did a great job. And I was just like, "That's how you do it, guys. That's your film school right there. Watching these two guys do this." Yeah, that was it. That was probably my favorite moment.
I love that. They're so cool. You got the best. Yeah, and that's one thing about the quality is if you got Robert Lasardo and the other gentleman, I don't know of him.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming if you think he's great,
he's really.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, and he held his own with Robert.
Make me watch the movie more.
Oh, good. Well, I hope you do. I think you'd like it.
I will. I will, and I'll give you good reviews too. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not one of those people that go, I didn't like it. No, I like it. I just didn't know. If I don't understand something, I'll say, hey, I don't understand, but I like it. Yeah. So if you could be a superhero and you could have any power that you want, which superhero, doesn't matter if DC, whatever comics, you like comics.
Yeah.
Which superhero would you be? And what would be your superpower? Okay.
I'm a Superman guy. Even though Batman's my favorite, Superman would be who I'd want to be. I love his hope. I love his determination to be good. I love that he can fly. I've had dreams since I was a kid of flying. I've even had dreams of feeling like I was flying after waking up. Like I thought I was really flying. And I think I can do it. Like many times in my life, I felt that way. Like I could actually feel gliding through the air.
I can see you being a hang glider.
I don't know if I could do it though. I'd be so scared. But if I could just jump,
I think when you're up there,
gliding, I would love to do it.
Because they're already going.
I know, right?
But maybe you'd have to piggyback with somebody, just like skydiving.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe if you piggyback, did it a few times like that, now you're flying.
Right.
There's your next documentary: how to be a human bird.
How to be a human bird.
Because people have been trying to fly forever now.
Yes, they have.
But without a motor.
Just gliding.
Just
quietly, just soaring through the air. That's so cool.
I think that would be an awesome video, really.
That would be.
Strap the GoPro.
Right. Get it on.
Yeah, because, if you land somewhere, you want people to find you.
That's right. Definitely.
Yeah. Just don't go to no desert islands.
No. That's
Stay,
something.
Yeah, stay up by the canyons or something where
You can zip through it and out, soar through it all.
Yeah, see, you can fly. Maybe that's your dream. Maybe your dream is to actually...
Maybe.
I mean, skydiving, you're just falling.
Yeah.
You're not flying, you're falling.
You're falling, yeah. That's what happens when you make a mistake. Like, I don't want to fall. I want to fly.
Yeah. So what happened to you? Well, I was falling.
Yep.
I was flying in the beginning. Then I was falling.
That's what happened. Yep. That's why we swim, so we don't drown. Remember?
Well, I float.
Right.
No, I can't. But if I have to, I can float. So now you're working still on the series. Now, are you going to work on another one after this? Once you complete this project, are you going to continue to go with all the different types of serial killers? I guess they're serial killers, but they're fictional, so they're not like, you're not like Ted Bundy and
right.
But then again, they've opened up a whole nother door. The internet serial killers have opened up a whole new door for filmmakers to make serial killers.
They really have. Our Horrorverse will end after this film. This is the last one we'll be doing of this series. We're going to be moving back to our original IPs, which means there will be no more fan films. We're going to be working towards, right now, halfway through a script on a new Western I'm writing. I want to make a Western, so I'm a huge Western fan. I have to make one. I have to make one and have a really cool story that no one's ever seen before in a Western. It's a really cool vibe for this.
Really?
Wait to do it. So that's going to be in 2026. Hopefully we can get that one started filming then. And my other producer, his name is Steve Eaton, he's got an animated film that he's currently in pre-production on now that we're going to start working on next year as well. And this is going to give back that animated vibe that you saw back kind of like in the 80s when they did Fire and Ice. I don't know if you know what that is, but they used to take real actors, and film them and then animate over them so their body movements looks more realistic. They used to do that in the 80s quite a bit. We're making a movie about that, and it's a really sci-fi, this epic thing, and we're going to be making that, hopefully start making it by the beginning of next year. So
that sounds interesting.
It's really cool, too. It's really cool.
It sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm. I saw his test stuff. He's brilliant at his visual effects, so he and I are going to be working on that one together, too. So
I like that you're doing different things.
Yeah.
There's so many people just kind of following, the copying, and to me, that's not original.
Yeah.
And what other people become successful, I can't even talk. What other people's success is not always your success.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, so here's another question.
Sure.
If you could film anywhere in the world, and just say the expenses were all paid, wherever you could go, your wife says, yep, you can go film. Where would you go to do your movie? Any movie in the world, like any movie you want to do, any place in the world.
Okay. I've got two spots thinking, but right now, since I'm in Western mode, I would say somewhere either in Texas or Arizona, or maybe even Nevada, somewhere where I know one of these locations is that I want really bad, like the town of Tombstone. Can I have that? Can I use that place, please? Something like that would be a lot of fun.
According to my producer, that's a tourist trap. Be careful.
I know. But, maybe a hidden gem that's out there somewhere I can just find.
My producer lives in Texas. He can tell you everything about the state.
I would love it. There was one other location too. I'm such a buff of New York City. Even though I've never been there, I would love to make a movie there. I would make the best action movie I possibly could, running around in the streets of Paris. I would, in a heartbeat.
They'd have to they'd shut streets off for you to do that.
Oh yeah, and shut it down. Let's go. We could film right there in New York. Let's go. Yeah, don't worry about the money. We can still make it because Debbie said.
Oh yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, you never know. It might very well happen.
Oh.
I mean, I know they filmed Blue Bloods in New York a lot. So my friend Alex Zueck, he's been on the show a few times. He's an actor in that Blue Bloods, and he talks about how they actually are out in the street sometimes.
Yeah, shutting it down.
Oh yeah. So if you could meet any actor in the world, living or dead, who would it be?
Any actor in the world, living or dead?
Living or dead?
It probably would be Al Pacino.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a huge Al Pacino fan. Yeah, I always have been.
I think he'd like you.
I would like him. I know that for a fact. He's that guy.
Yeah.
It's just one of those actors that screams on the screen. Like you can't miss him. You know, he's the only actor I know that can take a 5-minute monologue in the movie and your eyes are glued to the screen. Like you won't stop watching him do this. He's just amazing to me. I would love to meet that guy.
He's just got that seriousness.
Yes.
But professional.
Yes. Just beyond talented. Like, man, he's such a presence in everything he's in. So
yeah,
I definitely pick Al.
We got lucky and had his stepmom on the show once.
Oh, wow.
And, oh, yeah. She passed away recently, which is very sad, but it's still nice to hear, like, youthful stories, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but I think that's fabulous. I think that's so cool.
Thank you.
Now, what would you like to do moving forward? What does your... I know that you got, like, you want that movie. What are some other things that you'd like to do with yourself?
As far as filmmaking goes, or just in general? In general, I would like to be able to know that the steps that we've made, you know, are rewarded later with not only ourselves benefiting from the success of the films, but for our company to be able to, you know, provide to all these talented artists that deserve not only the spotlight for a minute, but actually to get, you know, make a living at what they love doing. I mean, that is like my focus on this. Like everybody that I know in my life has worked their asses off at some job somewhere, doing something that they had to do and not really wanted to do. And I'm of the old school mentality. You know, my dad was that way. My mom was that way, where, you know, you work for your money and do your thing. I get it. But, you know, now I'm looking at the way all this stuff is that we made up in this world. I just can't help but go, you know, we got one time to live this life that we get. To pass up your dream or anything that you really want to do and not have an opportunity to pursue it, at least try to pursue it, is a damn shame. So I don't want to not have that opportunity, if that makes sense. I want to go out knowing I gave it everything I had in what I wanted to do. And if I made it, great. And if I didn't, I won't look back on my life and go, shit, I wasted my time. I'm not wasting my time. And that's all I want, is to not waste my time. That's it.
I don't think you're wasting your time when you're doing what you love.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not work either. It doesn't feel like work when you do it.
No, it's fun. And I'm sure you laugh the whole time because sometimes things just happen. But you got to do like blooper reels. Even though you're doing the horror movie, do some blooper reels on the very end, so where people screw up, and catch it, and then add it to the end, because I think that when you watch the scary actor screwing up, and you know, whether he's tripping over his own shoelaces or he messed up his lines, we love that inhumanity of that human side of people. That inhumanity. What am I saying? The side that makes them like us.
Yeah, exactly. And it just humanizes them, brings them back down to earth, where you go, oh man, okay, he's not as bad as I thought, or she's
and
not
it's
as
always
bad.
so funny. Now, what about a comedy? I can see you being passionate about a comedy, because I think you have a lot of comedy in you.
Oh yeah, I do. I love all the genres. There isn't a genre I don't want to try, if that makes sense. So in time, we had a few ideas for comedies. They're a lot harder to sell on an indie level without like named actors in them. But there's definitely there's room for that in our future to do a comedy as well. So I'm going across the board with our films. That was our whole goal as our company got bigger, was to create, we're not just horror. We're not just documentaries. We're not just action movies. We do dramas. We do faith-based films. We do, comedies. We can do all of them. And it's just a matter of what story hits when it hits. And are we ready to make it at that time? That's it.
Right. Well, you're going to do a period film, so that the Western is going to be period-based.
Yep, it sure is.
Now, would you go any further back in time?
It's a possibility. Yes, there's some other stories that I have in my head that I'd like to see if we could pull off one day. They definitely need budget, so we kind of stay away from those at the moment. But if something hits and we get the right connections and the right people behind us, there's nothing we can't do. So,
absolutely.
I honestly believe that.
I think you're on the way, all the way straight to the top. I mean, there's only one way, and that's up. So sounds to me like you're going to have a great time. Now, you do have a podcast, you said.
Yes, we do. We sure do.
Yeah.
We have it's called Around the Reel, and you can find that podcast we have it up on YouTube. We have it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Play. There's a few others. It's on iTunes, I believe it's on, and iHeartRadio. That show has been our staple for the past 5.5 years. I want to say we're in season 5 right now. Yeah. We've got to interview like you, creators all across the board, whether they're just starting out in the industry or if they've been in Hollywood. We've had, Tom Skerritt, Robert Lasardo, Alex Proyas, the director of The Crow and iRobot. We've talked to many different actors that were on Walking Dead. And people that are just in the industry making great films, or at least learning how to make films, their struggle, their triumphs, talking about serious events that have happened that have pushed them into this realm. So, and we joke around a lot. We just, there's no script, there's no real questions. It's just a conversation between, kind of like what we're doing right now, and I think people really enjoy the raw, real conversations as opposed to something that's scripted in interviews. So that's our show. We do a lot of comedy on it. There's a lot of music and sound effects in it. It's just a fun Howard Stern type show. So that's what we do.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Now, when do you have your show? When do you start your show back up?
Right now I think we have like 270 some episodes up on those platforms. You can always go back and find them on the platforms now, but we're going to be starting new shows at the end of May. We're going to be back on the air at that time. So
yeah, you get missing it. You can't be there for too long. And you're really great at talking, but on your page, Facebook, your social media, you do these little videos, and those are basically just information content.
Yes. And it kind of supplements my lack for doing the podcast right now when I do those. I start talking, I'm like, oh, wow, I went 20 minutes already. I didn't even mean to go 20 minutes. It wasn't my goal, but I'll start yapping and I can't stop talking. So
you get things that you want out there and you want people to know about. And I get that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people text everything, but I like the fact that you're real and you talk about things and you invite people to come to you to discuss. Now, do you find that? Yeah.
I think that's important. Yeah, it's absolutely important to do that. I think that people respond to, people like you, Debbie, that are very open and raw and real. I know Debbie. I've not met you in person, but I know you already just because of your delivery, your smile, your eye contact, the way you sound when you say things, your inflection in your voice. Those things matter. It's not staged. And I think people are tired of staged. They want to see real stuff. And reality TV showed us that a long time ago, right? People like real shit. And I think that's where, I do my best to try to give them that, where I'm not hiding who I am. You either like me or you won't. And that's okay. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this. This year was the first year we did a video. For like 10 years, I've only ever been on radio behind a blank wall.
Yeah.
So to be live in front of all you folks, I'm nervous, but I'm still myself, and I hope that shows. And I'm glad that you're sharing such a wonderful story with us. You're a great guest. You're like what everybody wants to have on for a guest, because you got content. You're personable. You're real, and you're doing stuff. You're busy. My audience loves that. I know that for sure, because I love it.
Thank you, Debbie, very much.
So now, is there anything that we didn't discuss that you would like to bring up?
We have an audio series that's out that we released a couple months ago, and that's on the podcast platforms as well. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, some of the other ones as well. It's called Blackout. It was a film that I wanted to make, but we weren't able to get a budget for that one because it's this big sci-fi kind of thing. So I got some people together and we did voice acting for it. And we made this sci-fi audio series. There's about 10 episodes up right now called Blackout that you can listen to. And it follows the story of a character named Ryan and his unawareness of who he is and why the world is the way it is. And you can follow this story right now on those platforms. And it's a lot of fun. It's about 2 hours and 11 minutes of an audio series, but it's broken up into 10 pieces. So if you got like a 15-minute drive to the store or to work, throw it on and listen to it. And you'd have a lot of fun. It's got special effects in it, sound effects. You've got voice actors doing all the characters. Great music in it. It's really cool. It's a movie that you just listen to. So
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like that. I still like my producer Mark at one time. We were going to do something similar to that. Was like a radio show, but it would have been like a story.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Remember back when they did that, and they scared people with the aliens?
War of the Worlds kind of thing. Yeah. That's exactly it. That's what we made. Yeah.
See, that's so cool.
Yeah. I wanted to bring that serial style radio show back. That's what we made.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like actors in the background doing like their lines, but also sound effects.
Correct.
To make it feel like it's really happening.
Like you're there. Yep. Like you're there. Yeah, it's great. You guys would like it. Yeah, check that out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
That's so cool.
Oh, Amazon Music as well. It's on there as well. Yeah.
Now, before I forget, let's re-say the link for the people to help donate with your film.
Thank you. Yes, that it's Jason Voorhees Nightmares, and you can find that on Indiegogo, and that's Indiegogo, INDIEGOGO.com. If you head over there and type in Jason Voorhees Nightmares, you'll find it pop up, and you can find the perks there. And if you find it in you to contribute, we'd love to have your help.
And yes, and anything they contribute, they can actually check out all those perks.
Correct.
Which makes it, it's like a gift. It's like you buy yourself a gift.
You're buying yourself a gift. So yeah, if the perk's your thing, you can buy that. If you just want to contribute a few bucks, let's say you only have a $5 that you could spare, you can go and just contribute that, and we'll still give you a shout out and put you a thank you out there and on the planet. So it all matters. Every dollar matters.
Where can people get in touch with you, Aaron?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook. I'm usually live on Facebook. Instagram, you can find me there too. That's Aaron777, Aaron Carlson 777. And on Facebook, just type in my name. You can find me.
I want to thank you so much for coming on today. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
I enjoyed myself.
I enjoyed it too. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I'd love to have you back when the film airs.
Love to be back.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, great. Well, thank you, everybody, for enjoying us today, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And I guess that's it for today. Right. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.